what about Trump's weaponization of tariffs? The fact that he's using tariffs, do you think it's in America's interests? Because we have seen many deals come through, including the India-U.S. trade deal.
And I've tried to be honest about this. You know, tariffs haven't been used in the United States in many, many generations, and I can be boring, I won't, but in one sentence, the entire sort of American understanding of tariffs among professional economists is they're bad. And then Trump, kind of out of nowhere, he promised to do this, but he actually did it earlier this year, announced Liberation Day, we're going to use tariffs both to raise money for the U.S. Treasury, but also as a tool of diplomacy. And I think the jury's out. I don't think we know. I want it to work because I'm an American. I think we'll know in, maybe 100 years whether it worked. But I want it to, I'll tell you that.
The nature of punitive tariffs that were imposed on India, 25% only because India chose to deal with and maintain its relationship with Russia.
Well, as I've said many, many times, and I mean it, I think the United States, our foreign policy establishment has been very foolish and has hurt the United States very badly by trying to isolate Russia. They haven't isolated Russia. They've just driven Russia to China into a close relationship with India and this region, the Middle East. It's been terrible for the United States. So I'm strongly in favor of engaging with Russia as soon as possible on a deep level. So there's that. But I would also say what you already know, since you're from a country in which people negotiate when they buy things, that there's an opening bid and there's the real bid.
That's true.
Of course. So I came in and it's 100% tariff, and then we kind of talk through what we each want. And
Which is what Trump has done.
Exactly.
Which is what Trump has done. Okay. It's a rare thing. We have two people over here sitting who have actually interviewed the Russian president.
Yes.
Tucker did it 8 months before we did it. We did it at the end of the year. It was a fantastic end for the India Today network because we ended with a bang. No interview gets bigger than Putin. There are a lot of misconceptions, Tucker, when it comes to President Putin, when it comes to how Russia is dealing with the world, and why Russia is dealing in the way it is dealing with the world. What was your opinion of Putin? What were the big key takeaways? I have seen a bit of what you said, but tell our viewers.
I mean, my standard for leadership is the same, whether I'm assessing a father or a general in a military or the president of a country. How are your people doing? Putin is very easy to judge because he's been there for 26 years. He's one of the longest serving. He's the longest serving leader of a big country by far. And Russia is, by every single measure, in infinitely better shape now than it was 26 years ago. Russia has also managed, and this is a question for all of us who live in countries with diverse populations, including India, he's managed this population that's 20% Muslim. 20% Muslim.
Not many people know that.
And it's the largest country in the world.
That's right.
And spread across like 11 time zones or something, and he's kept that country unified. He had 2 wars against Chechnya within his borders. It's a Muslim republic.
Yes.
He's now close to the Chechen leaders.
Yes.
He is a cohesive, multi-racial, multi-religious society. How do you do that? That is the most impressive feat he has achieved. Our leaders have not done that. So I admire that. And so before any other consideration of Putin, I ask, how did you do that? I have to, whether I like him or not, agree with him or not, I have to tip my hat in respect, and I'm willing to. I'm happy to.
He gave you a 40-minute lesson.
and he gave 100 minutes to you, Geeta.
Yeah, 100 minutes to me, but 3 hours to him, of which 40 minutes, the first 40 minutes were just history of Russia.
It was so interesting. I was a little bit confused at first. It's hard to overstate how ignorant I am, but I learned how ignorant I was.